Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Future Trading with Mike, and today is the 22nd of July. Yes, it is Friday, going into the weekend, and I will not be doing a live recorded session today of my trades. I did that yesterday. I posted that to the channel, but I did want to talk about a topic at hand today. Just something I want to throw out there and ask you guys. Pretty much, have you ever gotten been in a situation or a place to where you feel like you just trading, and every time you trade, you get stopped out, left and right, whatever the case is, and you just kind of beat yourself upside the head, get frustrated, and say, I am so tired. I'm so tired of getting stopped out left and right. And you can't figure it out. You just don't know what it is, Maybe one day you're doing fine, then the next day you're getting stopped out left and right. Well, that happened to me as well. I think it happens to the best of us as traders, no matter how successful today you may be. I think that, me personally, most people who start off trading, it's not like it's not a green light to where they immediately start making money. You may get lucky. Some people may take a put on a trade and, say they want to start day trading, intraday trading, whatever the case is, whatever style of trading they specifically are trying to do and what market they're trying to trade, they may be successful, maybe for a week, maybe for a day, whatever the case is. But trust me that if you have not learned the roots, the foundation of trading, you will not be successful. And you guys by now probably know what that is. You always have to, you got to start off and you have to understand, I say this: market structure, price action. And then, outside of that, there's other things you may want to look into, like fundamentals and technicals and things like that, depending on your trading style, whatever the case is. But when you really start digging deep into trading, I say this over and over again: market structure, price action, because it is the key element. It's the core to begin to trade. It really is, because without that, you can't understand the structure, the foundation that's being laid when you look at your charts and you see price movement, you see price action, studying price action. So it's key, it's important, and I don't know how many times I probably say this in videos: market structure, price action, market structure, price action, market structure, price action, because it's important. So if you've ever been in that place to where you feel like you're just so tired and of getting stopped out left and right, then maybe you need to go back to the drawing board, start over, figure out what it is that you're not doing right so you can do it right, and then put yourself in a position to where you're profiting each and every day. And it's tough, because when we start off, we don't know really what direction to go, what path to go down. So sometimes we're led by snakes, in a sense, in this industry, and it's not the right way to be taught, whatever the case is. Like I said in a past video, it doesn't mean that you may not make a little money here, a little money there with trying something that somebody may be trying to teach you or instruct you on. I'm sure you guys know by now, not everybody who is on YouTube or has a instruction course or academy, or whatever you want to call them, knows how to really trade correctly, And I just feel like if you're not trading like the institutions and understanding how they trade, and I'm not saying like that exactly what they're going to do next, whatever the case is, when money is injected into the market and people are trading, whatever the case is. I'm not talking like that. I'm just saying being able to look at your charts and kind of, everything's probability when it comes to trading. So forming a bias of what the next move is going to kind of be, or forming a direction what the next move is going to be. So if the move is to the upside, whatever the case is, and you see that on a higher time frame, then you trade accordingly, based on if there's pullbacks in the market or whatever the case is, to a certain zone, certain level, or whatever it is. So you just have to be key to what's going on in the market and understanding, the market moves pretty much, and that's trading like the institutions. Being able, no one has the inside scoop of how these market makers or institutions are going to trade each and every day, as retail traders. We're just trying to figure out, based upon our charts, where we can trade, where are areas to where we see, accumulation of buying, accumulation of selling, areas where there's large amounts of volume, whatever the case is, or low amounts of volumes, studying things like that help us, give us an edge into our trading. And all that comes together as a package once you kind of, learn one thing at a time. It's like spoon feeding yourself so that you mentally can prepare yourself and build upon things to become a great trader. So you have to start from a foundation. You have to start brick by brick and understand how the markets work, how to trade them correctly. But in order to do that, what do you have to do? You have to learn the core elements to trading, you know? All right? So you have to understand that. And I talk about that in so many videos. Okay? But yeah, if you feel like you're in that position or place in your life to where you feel like you're just constantly getting stopped out, you know, especially if you trade with your real money, your own money, stop what you're doing, because you will continue to blow your account, continuously blow through money, and that's a bad feeling, okay? Because that will really mentally mess with you. So and can put you in a state, especially when you probably just want to quit trading, stop trading altogether, whatever the case is. So you have to go back to the drawing board. Maybe that strategy that you're using is just not working out, and you need to find, or I'm not gonna say so much find, but learn a strategy that works. But you know, it's kind of simple to really look at trading, and you will see this eventually. To all those who are beginners, if you look at the charts right now and you're learning how to trade, and it's just like, you know, it's like you can't wrap your head around it, whatever the case is. I promise you, one day it's going to click. If you put in the time, you know, the due diligence, it will click one day, and you'll be like, it'll be so clear, crystal clear to you when you see things happening and unfolding on your charts, or whatever the case is. So maybe it's a strategy you're using. If it's a strategy and you feel it's a strategy you're using, I would switch my strategy up. But I would spend a lot of time trying to figure out, you know, maybe find you a good mentor, whatever the case is, that can really mentor you in the right direction, whatever the case is. I don't have any paid mentorship programs, guys, or services. I just feel like it was natural for me to learn the way I did, and I think, and that is through reading. I tell you, reading is fundamental, and that's why I have so many books down in the description portion of the video that you can click on and purchase if you want to, covering various topics: volume analysis, price action, market structure, supply and demand. So if you're interested in those books, you know, just look down in the description portion of the video. But I had to start there to build, you know, the foundation for me. So I was more organic in learning how to trade, you know, how I actually learned how to trade. I taught myself in a sense, you know. I taught myself. It took years, but I was reading material, you know, different topics about different things surrounding trading, okay? And that's highly important, all right? Highly important. And I was watching tons of videos. Not everything out there on YouTube or various websites. I had to kind of weed through the crap. Weed through it. I started structuring myself to I was taking taking notes pretty much on I got a notepad filled with pages and pages and pages, and just taking notes, scratching things off that didn't work, taking notes, scratching things off that didn't work, and highlighting everything that did. And then eventually you start to develop good information or good educational information that helps you build the foundation you need to trading, and you just kind of routinely just study that material, and it helps you build a trading plan as well. So you know, that's why I'm here telling you today that if you feel frustrated, I'm sure there's probably 10 people at least out there, you know, watching these videos. I'm sure there's a whole lot more, but I'm just speaking, you know, kind of facetiously in a sense, like I'm sure there are a lot more people out there who are in the same boat, okay, or have been in this situation, like I just said before, to where you just got stopped out. That's the most frustrating thing, because you're just trying to figure out, you don't know what you're doing wrong, and it's frustrating when you try to time and time again, trying to do something correct, and it's just not working out. Well, that's where we have to kind of like retrain ourselves, reteach ourselves, learn how to do something. Maybe it's one thing we're missing, maybe it's two things you're missing that it just hasn't come together yet, and eventually it will. So, you know, I had to go back to the drawing board a few times, you know, from the beginning when I started trading, because and when I say from the go back to the drawing board, I mean a clean slate. I started completely over. I had to declutter myself, my mind mentally, and learn things pretty much from scratch. And I think I did that twice, you know. Yeah, I remember definitely once the last time I actually decluttered my mind, and not saying I forgot everything, I'm just saying decluttered and deprogrammed myself from trading a strategy that I was using in the past that did not, well, it did work a little. So sometimes, you know, when we trade, we're looking at percentage on percentage basis of win to loss type ratios. How successful are you? 60% successful? Are you, 86% successful? Whatever the case is. Our win to loss ratio, like how many times we're winning versus how many times we're losing. And at the end of the week, it all adds up, right? So we can definitely see, does the strategy work? You trade something for a solid month, you're gonna see, does it work or not? And it was like I was making money, losing money, and so I was kind of breaking even, and it was frustrating me. So I just, I had to go back to the drawing board. I said, I know there's something out there that's better than how I'm trading now, and I had to learn that strategy. So declutter, deprogram, I had to start all over. And when I did that, I eventually started making progress, and each day got a little better for me, and then when I really started learning supply and demand, the strategy of supply and demand, and how I trade supply and demand, I tweak it to kind of make it my own in a sense, and looking for pullback to certain zones, whatever the case is, and then I look at my lower time frame. So I use supply and demand, yes, but I'm always scaling down at lower time frame charts, and then I have to see certain things. So it is a strategy that I use, and whatever strategy works for you, I'm not telling you to deviate from that. Stick with it if it works. I'm just telling you, just talking about my struggles and when I used to get stopped out, left and right, it felt like. And then it was like taking baby steps for me. It was like I was losing money. Now, I didn't get into the market like I hear a lot of people say, man, I lost, $30,000 or $100,000. I think if I lost that kind of money, I think I would just stop altogether. I'm done, because it was just like, I wouldn't say that I probably wouldn't learn it, but I won't be able to stomach the loss of how much money, that I would have lost, or whatever the case is, losing that kind of money. So that probably just pushed me real quickly away. So I'm a type of person that that dives deep into stuff. Meaning, if I like the idea, I'm all for it. I dive deep, do my homework, whatever the case is, because I want to be successful. And I have the mentality that if somebody else can do it, I can do it. But then at the same time, we have to be logical in the same sense, right? So if something doesn't really work out and we start to see that it's not working out, you kind of jump ship and say, all right, I'm not going to be losing too much money doing this. So, I didn't get into the market losing a whole bunch of money, whatever the case is. And I'll probably do a topic on that as well, because, I've had people ask me in the past, well, when you started trading, how much money did you actually lose, were you ever placed in a situation to where you feel like you just want to stop and quit? I hear that every single day. People say, today was a bad day. It was rough. I just want to quit. Well, trust me, I've had many days like that, but I didn't lose a lot of money behind it because I was not trading in large size lots. I wasn't, trading, doing, it was what's called revenge trading. A lot of people do that. It's when they trade and then they lose and they get right back in. I was smarter than that. I just I didn't click on the mouse all the time. I just took I took time, and I looked for logical or high higher probability setups in the market. But still, even when I started from the beginning, the strategy I was using, and I thought, trades that I was taking with high probability, they just weren't, because I really, honestly, didn't really know how to read price action the way I do today, and understand market structure. And because all those things kind of come together in my mind eventually, and it clicked, I was able to trade and learn that strategy of supply and demand. And when I started piecing all that stuff together, that's when it clicked, and that's when the light turned on, the switch turned on, and it was like, that moment for me. So, but it took some time. It may not have taken as much time if I probably had a good mentor, someone that was that's probably traded and is an experienced or professional level trader. Years ago, 10 years ago when I first started, I'll be so much further ahead than I am today. But we all have a story, right? And that's just the path that some people have to take. It's like, and it's frustrating sometimes because we want to be. You hear the saying, I want to be, becoming an overnight success. That works for some people, and it's just by luck, whatever the case is, probably. But some of us have to work harder than others, but that's fine, because I don't fault myself having to go through the heartache or the headache to get where I'm at today, because now I'm successful, right? And I like to be able to tell that story, whatever the case is, and share my story to where I was in the same seat as lots of you guys are, because it's hard. Like, when you think that you're going to just jump into something brand new and be able to be successful overnight, it's not going to happen. It doesn't happen that way. It's just like, learning how to play soccer or play basketball. If it's not in you, it's not in you, right? We're all not are going to be great at everything in life, or whatever the case is. That's not to say you can't do those types of things, play soccer, play basketball, but are you going to be professional level soccer player or basketball player? Probably not. It's just, if it's not there, it's not there. If it's not in you to be, then it's not in you to be. So, but we're all great at doing something. That's the beauty about life, is that we're all great and doing something, whatever the case is. And trading is one of those things that, I'm gonna tell you this: we as people become great at doing things on one premises, and that's having drive and passion. And when you have passion for something, you go to the edge. You go to the edge to make it work, right? So that's just how kind of person I am. Is when I know that I can do it, I'm all in. Okay, so that's why I didn't ever give up, and that's why I had to go back to the drawing board a couple times. I don't say so many times, but a couple times to refigure things out, and eventually started coming together. And eventually I stopped being stopped out, left and right. Now, do I get stopped out every once in a while? Yes, of course, we all do. We all take small losses. Well, I say losses because I try to minimize my losses. You hear me say this in my videos all the time. You should know where to put your stop loss at before you get into a trade, whether it's a hard stop or a mental stop. When you see me trade, most times you don't see me place a stop loss, right? Okay, and a lot of people say, "Wow, that's dangerous." Is it? To you, it may be, because of the fact is you may not trade the same way I do. You may not understand the strategy that I use. You may not understand that before I even got to that trade, I know exactly where my stop loss is at. So my finger is on the close button immediately, whatever the case is. So I know how far price can come to in most instances when I get into a trade where I definitely do not want to see price come back to, or I'm out. Okay. So now my tolerance of I'm not gonna say drawdown, because I'll take I'm not crazy and stupid to sitting and allowing price to come back and have so much drawdown. I'm just saying, if price comes back against me, a couple of ticks, 6, 8 ticks, whatever the case is, I'm not going to jump out, because especially where I know where my mental stop is going to be at. I don't want to see price close below that supporting area of my point of entry, or whatever the case is, or it could be a supporting swing. Whatever the case is, I know where to get out at. So now I have crafted and have more experience in understanding where I need to put my stop loss at. So that's why I don't get stopped out left and right. But it all starts from the beginning, where you have to understand market structure. You have to understand price action. You have to have a good strategy in place to be able to trade around those things. Trade based on what market structure is doing, based upon what price action is doing. You have to have a solid strategy in place to be able to trade. Okay, so without that, you will get stopped out. Trust me. But I don't want to beat that dead horse to death, guys. Hopefully you guys took something home from this today. And that being said, if you're just frustrated, tired of being stopped out, just take a step back, take a breather, try to figure out what it is. Maybe it's the strategy. Look at your strategy first and foremost, and see if it is the strategy that you're using. Say, if like you see that where you're breaking even, at the end of the week, or you're slightly making a little profit at the end of the week, or whatever the case is, but you're just slightly making a little profit over your losses, whatever the case is, meaning you have slightly more wins than losses, then there's something wrong there. Something's not working out right, because you should have far greater wins than you do losses. So look at your strategy. I'm telling you, if you zero in and see if that strategy is actually working for you, then you kind of figure things out. Now, some people like to say that they'll probably say, well, I'm a swing trader. Now, I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying some people may say I'm a swing trader. So, if one day I get into the market and I make $4,000, and then the next day I get into the market and I lost $2,000, and then the next day I got into the market, I made $2,000, so I'm up $6,000, where I probably could have been up eight, but I lost 2. So let's say by the end of the week, they're up, just say $10,000, whatever the case is. $10,000, right? But throughout the week, they had $6,000 in losses. Something's not adding up right. It's like you should not be, kind of, your losses shouldn't be close to how much money you actually, how much money you're making, in trading, whatever the case is. So if you're making 10, you're losing 6, something's not adding up right? So just make sure that you are not, kind of just breaking even or just slightly making over what you lost, taking it home. If I made 10,000 for the week and I lost 6, then I would know immediately that something's not working right. Especially when you're testing that week to week to week, and the same thing's kind of happening. You shouldn't be. It would frustrate me. Trust me, it would frustrate me if I made 10 and then I had $6,000 in losses by the end of the week or whatever the case is. So I would immediately go back and try to figure out what I'm not doing correct. So take a look at your strategy. I can tell you that it's probably the strategy you're using that's just not working. You may understand, all the core elements to trading, and just not, the strategy just not working for you, whatever the case is. Maybe if you switch the strategy up, maybe if you tweak your strategy, maybe, and sometimes that people, when you may be learning or something or a strategy from someone that may have a course or whatever the case is, they perfected it. So they've trained that strategy for a certain period of time, and they use it each and every day. And maybe it's something in their trading style of how they use that strategy that just works a little better for them, and that you're not completely just grasping. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I just know that when it comes to strategies, sometimes you have to maybe even if you learn a strategy from someone else, tweak it to make it your own in a sense. So that's what worked for me. I'm not saying I took a strategy from someone else or from someone else. Yes, supply and demand is a strategy in itself. Understanding that, but kind of tweaking it and making it your own so it works for you each and every day. And that took time for me. Yep, supply and demand is the way I trade. I like marking zones, but then it's like I use a step down approach of how I actually trade it, looking from a higher time frame to a lower time frame, and then once price, I see a supply or demand zone off the higher time frame, and then I scale down to my lower time frame. I always tell you I have to see certain things have to happen before I actually take a trade, right? So I'm kind of tweak things to work for me. But that's it, guys. If that's happening to you, to where you're being currently stopped, constantly being stopped out, and you just can't figure it out, or maybe you're making some money and then losing, you're kind of breaking even, making a little bit at the end of the week or whatever the case is. I stop right there, but and go back to the drawing board and figure out what it is. Because if you don't, at some point you're going to end up blowing your account, and I don't want to see, you don't want to see somebody who could be great at doing something end up just quitting because the market has, taken everything from them, and they could actually be great. Though you hear the stories all the time. People who become great, they went through many stripes, went through one stripe, they went through lots of struggle, whatever the case is, to get where they're at. But the thing about it is they always had the drive and the passion. It was what carried them through. They were able to persevere and push through things, and because it was in them, it was pure will that got them to the place to where they became great. And that's the same thing in becoming a great trader. It's just you just don't stop. You have to figure it out what it is. What's broken has to be fixed. But I'll say this: if it's fixed and it's working, don't make any changes to what's working, what's fixed, what's allowing you to be successful, because then you may be trying to undo something. So whatever is working for you and is solidly working for you every single day, stick with that, okay? And I'll leave you guys with that, and that's all I have for you in this video here. But yeah, I know it can be a frustrating thing to those out there who are, getting stopped out left and right or whatever the case is, or making money one day and then the next day it's just a struggle with being stopped out, whatever the case is. But also, I say this too, understand about stop losses too, because you have to understand where to put your stop loss at. Or whether it's a hard stop or mental stop, you have to know where to get out at, where you need to get out at, and when you need to get out the market. Okay, so you must understand that piece too, because sometimes it may not just be the strategy. Maybe it's just the fact is that it could be the psychological pieces as well. The psychological pieces of fear and greed and things like that. Maybe you're losing money already. You're into a bad trade and you're losing money with hopes that the market's going to come back around, and then you got major drawdown, whatever the case is, and then it's just like you keep allowing it to come back against you, and blow your account that quick. So you cut losses. That's the purpose of a stop loss. But like I said, whether it's mental or hard stop loss, you cut your losses quickly. If you got to know where to get out at the moment you enter that trade. If price comes back to that area, you know, you have to know exactly where to get out. If price breaks or below that thresh or above that thresh, whether it's short or long. If not, then I'm not going to call anyone a bad trader, but you're not doing something right, and you're allowing the psychological piece to grab a hold of you and cause you to lose money. So that's the thing, is that's like that. You know, the hardest thing that traders face is the mental piece of trading, because it's all mental. You know, being able, you hear traders all the time and say, I should take that trade. Yep, you know, but it's the fear. It's the greed. You know, there's things that cause us to not do things in life, or whatever the case is. And we have to become disciplined, just like we do every day in our normal lives. Discipline and doing certain things, have structure. The same thing with this, because this is mental. This is probably one of the hardest things. Trading is probably one of the hardest things that people would ever do, because it is all mental. You know, there's nothing physical about it. Now, yeah. Mental stress can cause physical, could weigh down on you physically. Can it not? Yes, it can. So we have to keep this healthy to be able to trade each and every day and trade smart. So that's what I'm just saying. With stops, don't allow the fear, the greed, or whatever to take control. You have to know and feel securely and feel confident about the moment before you take that trade, before you get to that trade, where to get out it, and if price come back against you, where you have that mental, or where you have that hard stop at, get out. Okay? Don't just play the wish and hope game that the market's going to turn back around, because the market is designed to chew you up and spit you out. Okay? That's just the way it is. And I'll leave you guys with that. Appreciate everyone tuning in this morning and watching the video. If you don't mind dropping a like on the video, please simply click on that thumbs up button, and leave a like on the video. I appreciate that. If you aren't currently subscribed, and you know, go ahead and hit that red button. Subscribe to the team today. Future Trading with Mike. We also have a Discord community if you're interested in joining the Discord, where, you know, traders come to each and every morning. We talk about, you know, our levels, ideas, or thoughts about where you know, trading each morning, surrounding the future markets. And it's a great platform. It's a great community. If you're looking for insight and maybe some direction when it comes to trading, if you have questions about certain things, there's always someone there that will provide an answer or has an answer. So yeah, if you're interested in joining the Discord, find the link down in the description portion of the video below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you, and have a great weekend.